MomoCon. It's Atlanta's answer to Comic-Con. You won't want to miss it.
We're gonna get started. All right, now we're gonna start with our next MomoCon guest. We have hip hop artist, MC, and youth advocate, Javier Starks. And what was the first question from the audience?
Yes.
James from Wannabe Network. What was it that drew you to music initially?
Nice to meet you, James.
And
Originally, so I went through a period. My mom put me out of the house. I guess she was beginning to enter a phase of mental illness. So she put me out, found myself hanging out with a bunch of people who were partying, doing drugs and stuff like that. And I reached a place where I realized I was wasting my life away. And I realized that music was one of the main motivators and it was a catalyst for everything bad we were doing. And so I was like, yo, I'm going to make music that will show people that you don't have to do these things, so that you don't have to, conform in this way. So I decided to make music that was curse-free, that didn't degrade women, that didn't overglorify money, that didn't promote these negative lifestyles, to show youth that I plan to work with that you can be successful functioning with integrity and doing what you love. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yes, Carnell from Carnell Holley Pictures. So with hip hop being such a multifaceted medium, where do you draw your inspiration for its fashion?
Woo. Right now, I'm really on this tech wear line of thought. I love the idea that fashion and future can meet in a way that's not only just stylish but functional. But hip hop, when it comes to like the baggy style, because for a while everyone's wearing these super tight pants and stuff like that. I like the fact that, hip hop is still like impromptu. And so like the pants I'm wearing have a big pocket that has two pockets and a pocket, and the inside the pocket is a pocket, and that's just one pocket, and there's still two pockets and back pockets that have pockets. But anyways, I'm in my own pocket. I'm in my own space, I'm in my own bag. And I just think that hip hop is influencing a lot of what we're doing. And I try to align myself with brands that feel similar in the sense of understanding the importance of that. And so I'm a brand ambassador for the things that I wear and stuff that I either, yeah.
Elder Geek Sam with Grown A Geeks. I heard earlier before we started a list of some of the people that you've had an opportunity to work with, and it was quite an impressive list. Won't have you go through it now, but is there anybody that you have a desire to collaborate with that you have not collaborated with yet?
Woo, that's tough, man. I mean, I think something with Stevie Wonder would be amazing.
Oof.
I think Stevie Wonder is the greatest musician of all time. And then simultaneously, I like to do more work with the people I've worked with slightly. So like I mentioned, some people know I've done work with Robert Glasper. I like to produce a whole entire album with him. I like to produce an EP with Kate Trinata. I think that the music that I make and the sound that I create will mesh really well with the stuff. I mean, I've seen it happen already, but I like to produce a full project with these people. But Stevie Wonder, if I had to pick one, like Stevie Wonder, yeah, that
Dream project,
come on, how many MCs has Stevie Wonder worked with?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they can do it, but they just haven't. So, anyways, yeah.
Matt Jenkins, Wannabe Podcast Network. I've got a two-part question. The first part, the style of your music, nothing negative, no cursing, nothing of that nature. Do you get a lot of pushback from other people in the hip-hop community about your style of music or producing your music? And secondly, being that you're one of the few artists that I know of who does not curse, another of my favorite artists who has removed a lot of that from his music is Method Man. Could you potentially see a collaboration in the future with you and Meth?
Answer one to your two-part question. Yes. I think the word they use now for something like that is like virtue signaling. It's like, well, you make us cognizant of our own dysfunction and what we're putting into the community so they don't like it. Of course, finding opportunities are fewer and farther apart because I'm not within the lane of, the what is normal, the money and the women and stuff. So yes, there have been times where people who just outright ask me, well, who are you to think you can set the example? Who are you to, well, I'm me. I'm me. I'm the person that I wish I had growing up. Somebody was like, yo, do not don't sell drugs, don't do these things, because there wasn't anyone outright to tell me those things except for like the school system. When you look around and you see people who are getting money, you're not like, oh yeah, my teacher is like the most paid person I know. I need to get myself out of debt. My local dentist is the guy. Nah, you look to the people in the immediate circle. So yeah, it has created issues, but at the same time, I know that this is what I was put here to do. So I do what I'm gonna do. And then to answer your second question, oh my gosh, Method Man, yo, he's so tight, bro. Like Method Man is so dope. Even when he was doing what he was doing, he was unique, with the contact lens and just his style, your RZA, your razor, hit me with the major, the damage, the plan, understanding, flavor. Like Method Man is dope. So yeah, I love to collaborate with Method Man. That'd be amazing. I got an idea that I'm cultivating when I get my money right to work with a bunch of my favorites.
That only came up because on one of the shows that he does, it's one of the barbershop type shows. I forget which one he was on.
Okay.
He mentioned it. He was like, I bet a lot of people don't even know I don't curse on my records
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, that's
And I got to
good.
think about it, I was like, oh man, he's right. I hadn't even noticed it either.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you know, end with Method Man, connect with brother. Yeah.
Sure, I've been on the podcast network. So, a lot of people, when they see that you achieve a certain level of success, they don't know what you went through to get there. And can you talk a little bit about that? But also, there had been some points where you struggled to continue on.
Every day.
What made you keep going?
So, and I don't talk about my family situation much because it's a volatile situation. I'm sure many of you understand. But even when I first started making music, my mom was like, I don't want to hear that stuff. So I would have to leave my home and go out onto the street, literally, and write my raps outside. Most of my beginning raps I wrote outside in the middle of the night because I couldn't practice it at home. And then as things would progress, even your friends, they're not really into that. They want to listen to 50 Cent. They want to listen to, 3 6 Mafia. They want to listen to that stuff. And I'm talking about being positive. Well, my music doesn't outright talk about being positive. I just don't glorify the things that everyone else. So it's like if you're looking to turn up, you're probably not going to go to my music first. It's the thought process to my friends. So I think out of all the things that I struggle with, inner struggles, that's probably one of the hardest because people are like, what are communities? And we need to stop the violence and we need to, and then they turn around and listen to the same music that's promoting those same behaviors. And I'm like, yo, I'm out here actively in the community working with your children, but like you're not promoting my music because you're so caught up in the lifestyle. And I get it, everything has its place, but I think that kind of like they say, like put your money where your mouth is. If you want change in the political arena, you put your money behind the politicians that you believe in. You outwardly go out there and promote them. You talk about them. You don't just be like, yeah, I wish we had change, but go Trump. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, so yeah, man. If I hope that answered your question. Yes.
In today's state of music, with how it's mostly commercialized, like how do you feel, or what do you think would change it?
The fact that we as artists now have the ability to create and kind of like work around the gatekeeping that used to be, it's a positive and a negative because we've been flooded and bombarded with so much like trash, and that's my subjective definition of trash. To some man, that trash is treasure. But I feel like that is the chance that we have through the fact that we can just put stuff out there. I can record a song on my phone and release it today, and that's good and that's bad. I feel like because this information is circulating, because we're becoming more conscious as a community, I think that we are being more mindful of like, what, this brother Javier, he trying to do something. Let me check out what he got going on. I like that. Let me help support this to try to make a change. I feel like that's the only hope that we have because the people who are doing bad things are not just like sitting back casually. They're like actively like, yo, make sure them people listen to this stuff because that'll keep them where they are. And I think that the collective consciousness, we're connecting and networking through social media and stuff like that. Yes, sir.
I it's interesting as far as it becoming more common with mental health and everything. What did you find so far that helps you stay in the right frame of mind and keep doing what you do that's outside of the music space?
I'm someone who doesn't take anything for granted. I think that like when I wake up and I look out the window, I'm like, yo, that sun is beautiful today. I think it's cool to breathe. It's nice to be able to feel this and see this and to be surrounded by people, to be able to walk without having, a cane or even just the fact that I'm walking, having both. I am just a very grateful person. We grew up in Baltimore. I was born in Georgia. Both my parents disabled veterans. I was born in Georgia. I grew up in Baltimore. Then we moved to Gaithersburg before I went to DC. So I've seen like all walks of life. And I know literally I've been homeless multiple times trying to do what I felt was right. And so I know what it's like to not have anything. So everything I have is so much more than what I've had at some points in my life. And it's like, yeah, man, like, I ride around I'm globally known for riding a one-wheeled electric skateboard, and that board costs more than my mom's Honda Accord. And it's like, you can't tell me there ain't no progress generationally. And so I just focus on being grateful. It's like, there's always something bad to complain about, and you have every right to complain about it. You have every right. But like, do you really want to spend your day like that? It's like, yo, nah, I choose to be happy every day. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How important is representation to you?
When Virgil Abloh, who was doing work with Off-White, passed, that hurt a lot. And when Chadwick Boseman passed, man, I cried real tears. And it wasn't because I knew him, I didn't know him. A bunch of my friends know him because I'm based in DC and he was on U Street. He was growing up with the people that I look up to. But like he meant so much to so many people, bro. It was like, dude, the first like really cool black superhero passed from cancer. It's just like, dang, bro. So I feel like what I'm trying to do with myself in the same way, and to answer your question, is to show them that like, yo, you can do these things and still be cool. People like, yo, I love your fit, I love your hair, I love your earrings, you got a nice smile, love your stage presence. It's like, it's cool. It's like you can do this too. It's like we all have it within us. The difference is we've been so conditioned to believe that someone else is cool. It's like, nah, there's someone who's looking at you as you are right now today, and you're like, yo, that person dope. But you sleeping on your own dopeness. Yeah. So I try to be what I can be. And at the same time, yeah, I think it is important, which is to segue into my upcoming album, which is a EP themed around Echo from Arcane. When people were talking to me about the show, they were like, "Oh, he's got your hairstyle, and he rides a board, and he's fighting for like injustices just like you." I'm like, "Yo, that's so rare." But at the same time, the music that surrounds that show and that character has not necessarily reflected the get up and go, the impromptu-ness, like so we were like, yo, let's create some hip hop for Echo from Arcane because like Echo is like, yo, he's tinkering, he's making things happen. That's impromptu, that's hip hop at its finest. Like we made hip hop, we made DJing, we made graffiti, we found ways to break dance and cardboard and all that good stuff. So I feel like this is my way of like contributing to that representation, and I hope that it's received by the community. Yeah.
It's kind of in a stigma where the artist has to die before he can get it.
Mm.
How do you feel about that?
Oof. Was it posthumous success? Man, I don't know. It's kind of oof. It's kind of in a similar way. It's like the way they want you to create content. You kind of gotta like kill off who you are to like fall into a lane, and that's been a big challenge for me because I do so much on social media. But I'm like, yeah, but I just won't do that. Even when it comes to like a popular song that I could use as background music that will help blow my video up, I'm like, yeah, but it's just so vulgar. But the message in that song is just so bad. It's like, but I need the views. But if I don't post, if I do post, like, dang, if you do, then you don't type vibes. And I think that I'm gonna be good. I think that I just need to be more intentional about who I connect with in spaces like these. And the more we talk to each other about what we can be doing, the more it becomes easier to see that we already have access to what we need to do to create change. And yeah, maybe I might be even more successful after I pass away. Maybe I won't, but I feel like I got enough opportunities and my network is large enough and and people believe in what I'm doing to the point where I just gotta keep pushing, and I feel like things are gonna start falling into place. Yes, sir.
So with this being the 20th anniversary of MomoCon,
Mm.
I'm just curious to know, what makes this convention special to you?
Woo. Well, I mean, I was born in Georgia, so it's good to be back home. My friend was like, "Oh, you going home for your birthday?" And my birthday this weekend as well, on the 22nd. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was cool being here, and I mean, MomoCon is beautiful. You know, it's like ATL. It's like Chocolate City. You know, surrounded by people that look like you, think like you, feel like you, receive the same, oppression and hate, but also the same love that you do. You know, and it's nice to wake up and go to Waffle House and come back and hang out with a bunch of creatives, whether it be black or white, all intermingled and appreciating the same thing. But we see a ton. I like the fact that I'm seeing a lot of vendors who are like myself with their own brands, their own comic book characters, like DMC, And I was like, that's where I met him last time I came. I was like, oh, you're you, bro. And it's beautiful. I think that more cons like this, like Blurred Con, is another current con that I go to. I really want to go to DreamCon. If anyone listening got a plug at DreamCon, please book me because I'm trying to go to DreamCon and perform there. But I think that MomoCon is really special, man. It's really special. It's in a special space, and everyone I've met has just been so nice and so considerate, and I think they understand the message and they understood the assignment. Yeah.
Oh, any projects that you can speak on that's coming down the pipe?
So that Echo one is the primary, or it's called the Boy Savior. No pun intended, because we try to save the world, even though you can't save the world. One of the things you realize when you're trying to save the world, some people you just gotta let them do what they do. But that's probably the primary thing that I'm focused on right now. I do at the same time I am working on a cross country project, riding different electric vehicles because I got electric motorcycle, electric bicycles, electric skateboards. I'm sponsored by all these different companies and I ride and I create content around it. So I'd like to piece together a tour, doing a little bit of everything along the way while promoting sustainable electricity, sustainable everything. I mean, even positive art is sustainable because, when you're telling people to, I also work inside schools, and when I see these kids walking down the hallways rapping these lyrics to songs that have them ending up in prison or dead, it's just like that's not sustainable. You know what I mean? That art is not sustainable to me. So my goal is to push sustainability. So for right now, just the Boy Savior. That's my primary focus. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So as we've been sitting in here, I can say, man, without a doubt, you just exude great vibes. And it's quite infectious. Is it safe to say that when it's all said and done, that's what you're looking to be your legacy?
Man, I'm just being me. But at the same time, yeah, that would be cool. If what I do can be so impacting that future generations are like, yo, Javier did it though. He wasn't like regular. He wasn't, he was just himself. If that's the message that gets passed on, then that's a win, because right now they always look into something else for inspiration. It's like you got it already. You ain't gotta be like Lil Young, whoever. Be you, Be you.
Can you let everybody know where they can find you on social?
Yes, please check me out. Instagram is my primary platform. Javier Starks, JavierStarks. I got another brand that I'm working to launch. It's called Tekai, TEKXKAI, and it's going to be me talking about technology, tech wear, but also just things that I love, a mixture of hip hop, technical speak, but just things that I love. So check me out on those. I'm got a Discord that I'm gonna get off the ground under the same two names. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I hope to see y'all all soon. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah.